Hello, my dear friends, and we all know what's happened in Turkey and the neighboring countries. It's been really, very sad. Tragedy has struck, and I have a very, very dear, close family friend over there, Glen Prajjwal Rai, who lives in Turkey, and he will tell us exactly about what his experience was over there. And I'm very concerned because the whole world is concerned right now what's happening in Turkey, and who better than Prajwal to actually update us on this? And Prajwal, my sister and my brother had gone to Turkey just recently, very, very recently, and Prajwal went out of his way to look after them. And so Prajwal is the man who would tell us. Prajwal, thank you very much for spending time and speaking to us, Prajwal.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'll try to do my best to be as unbiased and as clear, whatever little knowledge I have about the earthquake, and from my personal experience with the situation at the moment, I would try to do my best to share that with you.
Thank you very much. Very, very kind of you. We all know that in 1999, I was in college at that time. That time, earthquake had struck Turkey, and that time, 17,000 people had died. And this
Actually,
time,
30,000 people, total of
30,000.
30,000
My goodness,
30,000
my
people.
goodness, my goodness.
Yeah,
Look at this. Which
and
means,
almost 20,000 people on top of those 30,000 people had lost their homes as well. So total of 50,000 people were immediately impacted by the earthquake in 1999. And so it happens that my first job when I moved to Turkey in 2010 was in that city. It's called Izmit Kocaeli. That was the epicenter. And I taught there. So every single person, because only 10 years had just passed, and it's like 10, 11 years, you don't really forget much. So everyone had a story to share, how they had to spend nights in tents, and how they were moved from their homes, how their family homes got ruined and completely destroyed. Every single person had a story to share. Every single person came with something that was something that we can't even imagine, a calamity of such scale that they had to live through. And that earthquake was not as high in terms of Richter scale as the one that has recently hit Turkey.
my goodness, my goodness. All this while, Prajwal, I want to be very, very honest. I do not know about this. What you brought out the facts correctly, and who better than you? 30,000 people were affected, had died, and then other 20 had lost their homes. So totally about 50,000 people. Oh my goodness, it's actually really, really very, very tragic. So, which means only goes to prove that what we read and see in media, it is not exactly what is reported, because many times people would report so that the panic is not spread, and so putting the facts back in line. And I believe the last earthquake was in 2020 in Turkey, the major one, if I'm not mistaken, Prajwal.
Yes, in Izmir.
And and
And
you,
there also the entire building collapsed. See, one has to understand that we are not new to earthquakes. Turkey as a country is not new to earthquakes. We have fault lines everywhere. So seismic activities, they keep on erupting, they keep on taking place all the time. So we have the Turkish Greek seismic belt. We also have the Arabian belt that actually caused this recent earthquake, and we also have a northern Turkish belt. So basically, three different fault lines Turkey falls under. However, a tragedy of this scale is new, because that doesn't really happen. We have had earthquakes in the past, but and it's not new to experience occasional tremors here and there. And schools, especially young children, are taught earthquake drills, just like how you would go through a fire drill. In most of the countries, we are taught earthquake drills. We have to abide by, it's a Ministry of Education. I'm a teacher here, so it's a Ministry of Education narrative that all the schools need to go through X number of earthquake drills during a year. So we're prepared. We're constantly told to pack our emergency bags. We all have an emergency bag at home, because we understand how severe the circumstances can become very quickly. But at the same time, one can never say, one can never tell when is it going to hit. You cannot predict.
It's really very sad. And so, in the year 2020, what was your experience at that time? You obviously must have felt it at that time
Yes,
when this happened.
yes. So Izmir is not very far from Istanbul. I live in Istanbul. Istanbul is quite far from the recent earthquake epicenter, which is Karaman and Gaziantep area. That's southeastern Turkey. So I'm about 1,000 kilometers away. So Istanbul people did not feel anything. However, Izmir was quite close because it's on the western fault line, and we're also on the western fault line. So that was felt, and so many times earthquakes have taken place middle of the night when we just wake up shaking because our bed is shaking so rapidly. And these things have happened too many times, way too many times, actually.
So tell me this time, Prajwal, I mean, when I was speaking to you over the phone some time back, and I was little up, though I'm very upset, I'm very sad, of course, but I was relieved to know that you didn't really feel the earthquake at all this time.
Not at all. This time we didn't feel it. We just woke up with an extremely unfortunate news. So, and even if it hits some place that's far away from you, because you understand the language and you watch so much happening on the media, and you work with colleagues, you have families in southeastern Turkey. So it does take its toll on you. You do realize that though you might be far away, you're still a part of it because you live in the same country and these are your people after all. So you do realize um, that one can only do so much. So we tried in our school to collect warm blankets, jackets, jumpers, because it's extremely cold these days, and there is no way for the foreign aid and the services to reach the epicenters so quickly, because most of the time people are stuck in bureaucracy. India was very quick to take action, which I'm extremely proud of as an Indian person. That we sent 51 people initially, and then later on 150 more. So I'm extremely proud to see that, and that initiative is being appreciated. So we, as citizens here, as people living in this country, we've been trying to compile aid packages on our own, so including rice and things like that, pasta, warm clothes, winter jackets, and we've been sending all of those things to the epicenter and the affected areas.
There is a video of some Sikh gentlemen, and they are really doing a lot of aid. And in India, it's viral. In fact, it's being spread all over. In fact, and he is doing the good job that they're doing, and so is everyone over there. And so,
Yeah.
tell me, Prajwal, I mean, have you unfortunately lost people or who are known to you, who were close to you, and has that tragedy come that near?
Yes, my friend's family, his uncle and aunt live in Gaziantep, and they do not have a home at the moment. So they're in the aid center, being looked after by the foreign aid people, and the camps that have been established for displaced people in and around the area. So, yeah, I do know people personally who have gone through this tragedy, who have been impacted by this on a first-hand basis. And in
Very
fact,
well.
I've actually been to Gaziantep. Gaziantep is a beautiful city. I've been to that part of Turkey, Adana, Gaziantep. Um, People are extremely hospitable. They're a lot like us. They're willing to open their hearts and their lives to foreigners. They're really welcoming people. And such tragedy to struck in places that you have witnessed on your own, people you have met and interacted with on your own, that takes its toll eventually. So yeah, watching news is actually all waterworks these days. It's really sad.
Very sad, Prajwal. So your family must be very, very concerned back in India. Those they must be calling you up and they must be keep us
Yeah.
updated and such things. And so you are in touch with them through WhatsApp, through phone calls, and right. So tell us, you have any inputs about the Indians over there who have been affected? Who, though of course, it's about humanity and everyone, every life, human life, irrespective of which nationality, which caste, creed, religion they are. Every life is important.
Yeah.
but for people, for viewers in back in India, they would be concerned about them as well. So, you have
Yes.
any inputs about the Indians who have been affected by this, Prajwal?
I only learned through the media that there were 10 Indians, because when I approached the embassy, they told us that we're a minuscule population of Indian people living in Turkey, so I don't really know many people around. However, I did learn through the media that there were 10 people. Um, Nine of them live in and around those cities, and one person was visiting on business, and I think there is no trace of that individual. So I'm concerned. Because somebody was lost completely. I can only imagine how crazy, how worried the family might be at the moment. Yeah, so this is something I keep checking online, but there is no update. I really wish that perhaps Indian Embassy could take this initiative and keep us updated, as in how many people were rescued. Of course, I mean it's we worry about everyone who is going through this tragedy. It's very unfortunate, and I'm going to come to the Syrians um, who are not getting any help at the moment because of all the sanctions and such. So that is something that we need to also talk about. We need to lift the sanctions so that aid could be supplied to the border areas in Syria as well. A lot of people have lost their lives, and those people were basically refugees who had moved to the Syrian border in hopes of perhaps crossing over to Turkey for better lives. So people who were extremely unfortunate circumstances, they have lost whatever little they had left, and nobody is able to provide any assistance to them. They don't even have machines and things like the cranes and such that could do the job for them. So they've been using shovels and handheld tools and trying to remove people from the rubble. So that is very unfortunate. That's something we need to definitely talk about, because it's a tragedy is a tragedy for everybody. We can't really say that it's hurting me more because there were 10 Indian people stuck, or it's hurting me more because I live in Turkey and there were Turkish people impacted by that. I think it's just any human life lost is a big loss.
Very well said. You're right, absolutely, Prajwal. You're absolutely right over there. So there these images which is circulating on social media. In fact, I'm urging my friends not to circulate images because it's only depression. We all know it's true. We all know it's happened. It's very sad, and we all know that because nobody wants to be clicked or filmed in their weak moments, and it would not be a very nice thing with intestines coming out or something in a very gory frame. But then there are some heart wrenching images, like for example, my sister Saira, who you met, she tweeted, I retweeted it, in fact, about an image of this 8-year-old girl who is
Holding
under
on
a
to
boulder,
that.
and she's covering her small little brother,
Yeah.
and she is asking for help, and I believe thankfully that she was rescued later on. Similarly, there are images of a father who's holding the hand of his dead daughter who's stuck in the rumble, and it pains me, it kills me. I've been a soldier, I've seen very difficult days on the border, but these images, this loss of humanity is like, I can't tell you, Prajwal, and I'm really thankful to you for taking your time. I know what you have been going through, and you are trying to help out in your own way, and you are busy the whole day, entire day, trying to sort things out over there. So, Prajwal, about Syria, you said it very rightly, and I totally agree with you that those sanctions have to be uplifted for the sake of the humanity, because ultimately no aid will reach them, and it's about human loss. It's about, and even in school when we are punished by for a small thing, our teachers at times they assess, and they pardon certain things, they waiver off those punishments. They're like, okay, fine, this is what is the need of the hour. And Prajwal, thank you so much for speaking to us, and any message you would like to convey before we let you go, Prajwal?
Absolutely. And First of all, I'd like to thank you for inviting me to this platform. I only urge everybody to do their best to help us with this calamity, because again, it's Turkey today, it could be India tomorrow, wherever you are, it could be that place. I mean, we don't really know how these things happen. Natural calamities uh, acts of God, as they say. So I would like to share three links with you, which are for aid centers and charities. They're doing a lot of work and they need all the assistance. And the most minimal amount that one can contribute to is just 10 lira, which is about 50 rupees. So any contribution of any kind, any help of any kind, would be really appreciated. And again, I understand that a lot of people think that, oh, it's going to go to some rich person's treasure. It's not like that. Turkey is an extremely how do you say, bureaucracy, yes, does exist, but again, it's a very well planned, well country. So things, whatever contributions you're going to make to this different charities here, they would actually reach where they're supposed to reach. So please contribute in your way. And of course, instead of sharing somebody's sad story, sob story, somebody in a bad state, I would like you to just spend a few minutes and just pray for well-being of those who are still stuck in the rubble and are alive, because it's been more than 72 hours. It's extremely cold, it's been snowing, and people are still stuck.
Thank you, Prajwal. Thank you very much for taking your time, and we are very proud of you that you are still keeping spirits and hopes alive over there, and you're motivating people, and you are doing your bit in your own way. And people, it's people like you and friends like you, and I would say our NDRF team and the Indian government who have been very quick in reacting, which make us feel proud as Indian, and we are being able to stand tall. Thank you very much, Prajwal. Take care,
Thank you.
and proud of you, brother.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
You too, Prajwal. Bye. Let's end this broadcast.